Hello and Assalamu alaikum. We have with us today Mr. Sajjad Burki, the focal person to Chairman PTI Imran Khan in the US. Assalamu alaikum and welcome, Sajjad sir.
Ji, walaikum salam, and thank you so much for inviting me to your show today.
Sajjad sir, I have a few questions here that are here really from the Pakistani diaspora here in the US. Imran Khan himself has said that the Pakistani diaspora in the US is the strongest, one of the largest diaspora. What then have we done for Imran Khan's cause and since the past 16, 17 months since he's been ousted?
Well, I think we've done plenty, and you're very right, and Imran Khan is very right. This is one of the strongest diasporas. I think UK and the US are two of our mainstays when we look at PTI abroad. We started, I think, almost 16, 17 months ago, and we started meeting up with our legislators over here. That was the initial campaign. We, at that time, didn't know what else to do because we were counting on things happening in a constitutional way in Pakistan, and we were hoping that we will get some traction here in the US as well from our legislators. But as we went along, we realized that it was much more difficult than what we originally thought it would be. We were getting good meetings with them. We were getting very good responses, but not much action. And that's when we started to come out and starting to rally a little more, maybe make a little more noise, engage more legislators as we went along. So I think it's taken a while for this movement to build over here, but I think we are at a point where we have now seriously engaged the majority of the Pakistani diaspora here in the US, and they're ready to stand up and fight for democracy in Pakistan.
So, talking about engaging the Congress people, we have been hearing from you, from Atif Khan Sahab, from even the backpack that there is going to be a congressional hearing soon, and we've been hearing about it for a while. What's the progress on that?
Well, let me share information with you. We started talking about a congressional hearing about almost 3 months ago. And this was luckily with one of our Texas congressmen who's, is a Republican, and he chairs the Committee for the Foreign Relations, Congressman Michael McCall. And we met with him about 3 months ago and started a conversation. It was kind of lukewarm at that time. And then we even engaged Senator Bob Menendez, who's the Foreign Relations Chair in the Senate. And we had a very good meeting with him, and he promised us that he will look into it. But we got more traction in the Republican side, to be honest with you. And about a month ago, we had another meeting with Congressman Michael McCall, and we were at that time actually, this is, I would say, more than a month ago. We had actually planned to have him talk to Chairman Imran Khan directly and discuss what had happened with the Donald Lu affair. And then, as luck would have it, the Intercept story came out, and it gave more of a life to what we had been talking about in the last few months. Because initially, and as you all know, there was a complete denial from the State Department on the cipher. But then this is when the office of the chairman, they got more engaged, and they promised that yes. And the latest I can tell you is that we spoke with them about a week ago, and they have promised that the office is already working on it. They are hopefully they'll have it on schedule in the upcoming session. So hopefully in the next 10 days.
And I was actually like, you just brought up the whole Donald Lu affair, and as per Intercept, the United States, the administration itself is where the Biden administration is behind the coup, as per this story in the Intercept. Do you think then talking to the Congress, talking to the American government as such is going to make any difference?
Certainly. See, we always have to remember that the State Department necessarily does not take advice from the congressional leaders. We all know that. But at the same time, there are some very important congressional leaders who can put their weight behind something. And then the State Department and the White House has to listen to them. And that's the kind of policy we are trying to engage with the Democrats. Of course, the Republicans, we've had a much easier time. But with the Democrats, like you saw, we initially, more than a year ago, Congressman Brad Sherman, he started talking about it, and many other congressmen came out. Even about a month ago, when we had our friend Dr. Asif, he brought in some congressmen in the capital to talk about this issue, and more than I think almost 10 of them showed up. All of them were Democrats. There's no harm in reaching out to them and letting them know. And as we reach them, one thing we found out many months ago, we all thought that they were very familiar with what we were talking about. And we were totally surprised that most of them had very little knowledge of what had happened in Pakistan, of what the accusations were and what the real story was. So it was important for us to get our message out to them so that they could look at it, in a manner where, they could help us. So certainly, I think we need to keep reaching out to them.
So just in context with that, do you see that, like, traditionally we have noticed that the Pakistani American community has been leaning more towards the Democrats. We tend to generally vote Democrat. Do you see that change in the 2024 election?
Absolutely. Funny that you asked this. This is one of I think, the hottest topics right now. I just finished a meeting with our group in New Jersey day before yesterday, who wanted to join us in our rally in the White House, again at the White House. One of their biggest concerns and what they really wanted to do was to come out very openly and start a campaign saying that Pakistani diaspora will vote anti-Biden or anti-Democrat in the upcoming election if nothing was done. From the point of view of our party and us, we don't want to go overboard on this. We don't want to, go out and say anything like that openly, because it's not fair. A lot of our diaspora, our people, they vote Democrat and they have voted Democrat. But you'll be surprised how many of them are now thinking of voting the Republican. And that includes me, by the way, and not because of my party position, but personally, I think that the Biden administration has not been fair to Imran Khan and the whole regime change affair.
Before I let you go, one last thing. We've been hearing about this pretty big protest that's been organized outside the White House on Sunday the 17th, I believe. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yes, certainly. We've been thinking and talking about it for months now. We finally have a date and a reservation, and we are now advertising it. 17th, it's a Sunday in front of the White House. We'll start at 3 p.m. and hopefully go till about 6 p.m. There's a group that's coming from Jersey, a car rally. They'll come and join us over there. There's some other rallies, the car rallies from other parts of Virginia and Maryland who are working on it, and they'll come and join us. And we're actually we're making this a nationwide rally. We're asking our people living anywhere in the US, if you can take the time, if you can afford it, if you can come out for a day to Washington, D.C., please do so. Let's all remember the time when Imran Khan came to Washington, D.C., and we were able to make such a huge impact at that time, because I think over 25,000 Pakistanis showed up in DC and got the attention of President Trump at that time. And now I think is the time, if I'm requesting everybody to come out, please take time out, come out there. Let's make an impact. Let's show President Biden that we living here in the US care about Pakistan. and we want things done the right way.
And then talking about doing things the right way, Prime Minister, caretaker Prime Minister, in fact, interim Prime Minister Kakar is supposed to be visiting the United Nations, which is, I guess, a first of, like, are we protesting there as well?
We are certainly protesting over there, but it may not be on the exact date that he's talking. Firstly, they are being very, very evasive about it. They're not letting anybody know when he will be talking in the UN, which is not even important. He's just a caretaker prime minister. I don't think it's that important for us to complain about him. What we want to go out there and raise our voice about is the general situation in Pakistan, to bring to the notice of the rest of the world how, practically a military takeover of Pakistan has taken place. And these caretaker prime ministers don't mean a thing. The real rulers are somebody else over there. So we will have a rally in New York. I'm not sure of the exact date because we're still talking about it. It could be on the 19th, or it could be, a couple of days later than that. But we wanted to do it on a weekend so that more people can join.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time, Sajjad Burki Saab. Thank you for speaking with us, and thank you for all that you're doing over here for not just for, I would say, for PTI, but for Pakistan.
I really appreciate it, and I thank the PTI social media team. I think you are our real heroes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Meanwhile, Pakistani Americans here can join us in various rallies. As Sajjad Burki Saab said, there is one on the 17th in Fresco, Texas. There's a Boston rally in Massachusetts the same day. There's going to be a pretty big rally that we're hoping all the way from New Jersey. That's going to, on the 17th, that's going to come from New Jersey all the way to Washington, D.C. to protest then outside the White House. There are also, as Sajjad Burki Saab said, various other rallies coming in from Virginia, Maryland. So please do follow our PTI US official pages on in fact, on all known social media platforms. Sajjad Burki Saab has a Twitter handle as well, and we will be telling you the details. Thank you so much for joining us. Inqilab Zindabad, Pakistan Zindabad.